Good afternoon to you. We will continue with the Constitution. Yesterday we have seen Parliamentary Committee, an introductory part of Parliamentary Committee. We have seen various types of Parliamentary Committees. We have seen the different groups of standing committees. There were 6 groups, I told you, under standing committees, namely Finance Committee, departmentally related parliamentary standing committees, Committee to Inquire, Committee of Control, committees relating to day-to-day business, and housekeeping committees or service committees. So these are the 6 groups under standing committees. The second category is ad hoc committee. These ad hoc committees are divided into 2 categories again. One is committee constituted to inquire into a specific issues. Secondly, advisory committees, maybe select committee or joint committee, normally to consider and report on particular bills, legislative proposals. The inquiries committee can be constituted either by 2 houses on the basis of a motion adopted in this behalf, or by the speaker or chairman to inquire into certain specific issues. For example, local area development scheme, MP LAD program for members of parliament. There was an inquiry committee. Similarly, joint committee on Beauforts, very famous. Joint committee on stock market scam, Harshat Mehta scam. Railway Convention Committee. In fact, the Convention Committee was constituted in 1949 for the first time. The committee is to determine the rates of dividend payable by the railways to the central revenue. However, since 1971, the Railway Convention Committee has been taking up the subject which has a bearing on working of railways and railway finance. Then the Joint Committee on Fertilizer Pricing. It was also a specific committee constituted to inquire into the pricing policy of fertilizers. Then the second category is Advisory Committee. These include either Select Committee or Joint Committee on Bills, legislative proposals. These committees are constituted to scrutinize the bills and the procedure laid down by the rules of procedure of the House, and the directions by the Speaker should be followed. Select Committee and Joint Committee. Joint Committee means combined, both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Select Committee means exclusive. As you know, when a bill comes up for discussion in the House, it is competent for the House to refer it to a Select Committee of the House or Joint Committee of both the houses. In the case of Joint Committee, a motion will be adopted by the House recommending Rajya Sabha to nominate its members. So, if it is a Joint Committee, the other House will be requested to nominate its members. And this is the procedure for Joint Committee and Select Committee. Now we are coming to the individual committees. First, let us take up the Finance Committee. Finance Committee consists of 3 committees. I have already told you: Public Accounts Committee, Estimate Committee, and Committee on Public Undertaking. These are all the 3 committees. Common nomenclature is what is known as the Finance Committee. Now, first let us come to Public Accounts Committee. As we know, the Lok Sabha passes large amount of money collected from the people, taxpayers' money, in the form of tax. Now, this money is spent by the government. It is in the interest of the taxpayers that the Parliament examines how the money allotted to the government is spent. The Parliament, in fact, should satisfy itself that the grants voted by it are utilized for the intended purpose prudently and economically. The CAG is part and parcel of this financial control. CAG examines these yearly accounts of the government and after effective scrutiny certifies the accounts. And CAG submits his report to the president, who causes the report to be laid on the table of the house. So remember, CAG presents its report to the president, who in turn causes the report to be placed before both the houses of parliament. Now, it is impossible for Lok Sabha to examine in detail these accounts, which are very complex and technical in nature. Besides, Lok Sabha has no adequate time also. Therefore, there is a need to constitute a committee called Committee on Public Accounts for the detailed examination of these accounts. Perhaps you know in the cabinet committees also like that, because cabinet is a too small a body, it cannot take decisions every time. So they have constituted, the cabinet has constituted certain committees, cabinet committee on economic affairs, cabinet committee on prices, cabinet committee on security, cabinet committee on foreign direct investment, etc. So these committees will examine the issues. So it can be, a decision can be taken by the committee, or the full-fledged cabinet can take a decision, or sometimes it may be circulated also. If the item is not very serious, that the proposals may be circulated among the cabinet ministers. They will given the time, 5 days or 6 days or 1 week or 3 days. If they do not get a reply from the cabinet minister, it is presumed that they have no comments to offer. It will be taken as approved. So this is another way of taking the approval of the cabinet. Similarly, the parliament has got lot of work, so they have constituted the committee. For examination, the expenditure point of view, the Public Accounts Committee has been constituted. This is the background. Now, the committee was first set up in 1921 under the provisions of Government of India Act 1919, important, on the basis of recommendation of Montagu-Chelmsford reforms. I told you yesterday, 1921, Montagu-Chelmsford reform, Government of India Act 1919. Originally, most important point, originally the committee consisted of only 12 members, out of which 8 were elected by non-official members of Central Legislative Assembly. And Finance Minister used to be the chairman of the committee. Remember, Finance Minister used to be the chairman of the committee. And from 1950, that is when the Constitution came into force, the strength of the committee was raised to 15 members. In 1950, when the Constitution came into force, the number of the members have been raised to 15. And all of them were elected among the members of Lok Sabha. Remember, exclusively Lok Sabha and 15 members. Now, however, since 1954 to 55, the composition of PSC has been changed. Now, it consists of 22 members, 15 from Lok Sabha and 7 from Rajya Sabha. 15 from Lok Sabha, 7 from Rajya Sabha. From when? 54-55. PSC now strength is 22 members, of which 15 from Lok Sabha, 7 from Rajya Sabha. The members are elected by a system of proportional representation by single transferable vote. Remember, PSC is a elected committee, and the chairman of the committee is nominated by speaker among its members. So remember, among the members so elected, one member will be nominated by the speaker as chairman. Now remember, though Rajya Sabha members are included in PSC, it is not a joint committee. It is not a joint committee. Instead, it is a Lok Sabha committee. Why? Because the chairperson is appointed by speaker. That is the crux. If the chairperson being appointed by the speaker, it is not a joint committee. Instead, it is a Lok Sabha committee. Up to the end of third Lok Sabha, remember, most important, up to the end of third Lok Sabha, the chairman of the committee was chosen from majority party in parliament. However, in 1967, a member of opposition group, that is Swatantra Party, was for the first time appointed as chairman PSC, and this convention still continues. We will end the class. We will continue in the next class.